Hi, this is Norvin Daniel, and you are here in the Cash Flow Business Blueprint. And my mission here is to help you win the cash flow game of life so you can live to your full potential. And the way that we're going to do this in this particular presentation is I'm going to show you how to double the revenue and profitability of your business within 18 months or less. Now, if you're here viewing this, we're either working together already or you're considering working with me, and maybe you're wondering what's it going to be like and what are we going to do. Am I going to understand what I'm asking you, what I'm asking you to do, or what I'm suggesting, or the strategies? Is marketing going to continue to be a black box for me to try to figure out what's happening? And so my goal here is to really answer and alleviate a lot of those questions, alleviate a lot of that type of anxiety, and really help you look behind the curtain and understand exactly what we're going to be doing. You may not want to do it yourself. You may want us to handle it all for you, but at least you'll have a frame of reference and a basis and a foundation to understand what's happening, and that way we'll be on the same page. We will have a much better understanding, a much better relationship, and ultimately the goal is for you to develop more revenue and be more profitable. So, what are some things that you are going to get out of this presentation? Why should you stick around and listen to any of this? It'll be about an hour, hour and a half max, if that. And again, the whole point is to really help you understand what needs to happen in your business to really make it to have revenue and be profitable. So, you're going to learn a few things like how to measure the strength and vitality of your business at any time. I'll show you exactly what you can use to figure that out. You're going to learn really honestly what's most important in terms of really having your business grow and survive, and where you should be investing your precious time, energy, and money resources. You're going to understand exactly where your business is and what levers you need to pull to make your business move forward. You're going to be able to figure out your exact marketing budget that you need to reach your goals that you have with your business in terms of revenue or profits. We're going to learn how to target your ideal customer, how to find the people that are most predictive of your success, and how to create a product or service with the right features and benefits that really help your customer achieve the journey or the transformation or the achievement that they're looking for. And what are the precise pieces of content, videos, things that you need to write that really make that happen, and how to put your customer in the state where they're empowered to take action and buy what you have. And then finally, how to drive up the profits and lower the cost that it takes you to acquire a customer. So those are just kind of a lot of the highlights that you're going to get out of this. And again, really be able to put your entire business in perspective as we move forward. So we're going to start with the art. There's definitely an art and a science to customer acquisition. And if I say marketing at any point in this, at the end of the day, all the stuff that we do for marketing, advertising, it's to gain customers. It's for customer acquisition. And so at the end of the day, though, it really is part of an art because you're dealing with the psychology of people and how to communicate and get people to a place where they can take action. At the same time, you have kind of the hardcore science of it where we really can be very factual. We have data, we can look at numbers, we can figure out what budgets are, how much money we need to put in, how much money we expect to get out, and exactly what needs to happen in between. But first, let's talk about the art because we don't have any numbers, any data. Nobody's buying anything if they're not in a place to buy, if we're not handling the human psychology of this all correctly. So let's start with the art. Now, we are all the heroes of our own story. And as we talk about this, when we say hero, your customer is the hero. Traditionally, marketing has been done where you tell people all about yourself and how much experience you have and what all you've done and what awards you've won and all that kind of stuff. And there's a place for that, but ultimately, your customer needs to be the main character of the story. They are the hero of the story. But at the end of the day, all of us throughout our lives, each day we're telling our own story. Each dollar we spend, each action we take is a vote for how we want our life to be, and it's also a way that we're telling the story of our lives. So we are all the heroes of our story, and understand that the hero is on a journey. And this is a good representation of what the hero looks like. This is Will Smith. This is the cover for Hancock, the movie, where he was a hero, but he had some personal issues that he had to overcome in order to really live up to his full potential, in order to realize who he thought he was, or to actualize, himself. And so, this is no, I mean, not this is the same as just all of our individual stories. We envision ourselves in our mind as becoming this hero, this version of ourselves, but at this current point in time, we may be a different person. We might not be that version of ourselves that is the hero of the story. So ultimately, the hero, and everybody's the hero of their own story, and they are on some kind of journey, and they're on a journey of achievement or transformation, because we all have these internal and external desires. What is it that, why do you do what you do? Maybe it's for family, maybe it's for personal validation, maybe it's for a significant other, maybe it's for somebody inspirational. And then we all have external desires. We would like to be at a certain, be at a certain place in life, or we'd like to have these certain things, or people that know us, connections, whatever it is. So we have these internal desires that we're looking to satisfy because there's something that drives us, and we also have these external desires that we're looking to satisfy as well. And so understanding our own, but also more importantly, our customers' internal and external desires tells you why they're on the journey in the first place, and it helps you understand what they're looking for and how you can meet those needs. So again, we are all going on a journey to fulfill those desires, and some sort of achievement or transformation is necessary in our story, in our lives, in order to actually become that hero. So here is Will Smith in Hancock 2, and he looks completely different from the way that he looked in the first picture, where he wasn't quite that person. He hadn't become the hero yet. He had these personal afflictions, and he had to go through this journey and overcome these afflictions in order to become this really bold, brave, brash hero that's, that no one can stop. He's ready to take on the world in this picture right here. And that is your role with your customer. Your job is to help your customer become like Will Smith in this picture. Take them from that first picture where they have these personal afflictions and help them through this process to now where they have become the hero. And so when you meet the customer, when you encounter the hero on their journey, here is where you find them. You find them at the wall. That is kind of like what that first picture of Hancock, of Will Smith and Hancock, represented. He didn't look all together right there. He looked like there were some things that were bothering him, and that's where we meet our heroes. So there's some kind of backstory, like I mentioned. They've got these external desires. They wanted to win a trophy, but they've got the internal desire. At the end of the day, they just wanted the love of their mother or father. And so, that's what they were after. And now they're off on this journey, but they're stuck. They want to get to this achievement or this transformation, but they're stuck. They're at this wall. And that is where you encounter the hero on their journey. And this is where now you are introducing yourself as this charismatic person, this leader, whether it's you yourself, or it's your business or your brand. There's someone that now is being introduced into their life that they feel like can take them on this journey into this cause, into the future. And whatever it is, the way that you do things, you are helping them in this cause. You are in this fight with them, and what you offer is the new opportunity. You offer the vehicle of change. You offer the vehicle that's going to help them get over and around that obstacle onto the rest of their journey. But think about it. When someone is at a wall, they're actually at their most vulnerable state. Think about how you would feel if something happened, you were driving down this backcountry road in the middle of the night, and there was this boom, 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 this bump, and you don't know what happened, and you went off to the side of the road, and now the car is kind of wrecked. You can't drive it out of the ditch or what have you, and you're on this country road and you're stranded. That's a very vulnerable place to be. You definitely are at a wall. Now, are you going to just jump in any car that pulls up alongside offering help? Is that a wise, prudent, safe practice? Is that something that you would really do? Think about that. So even though maybe you're even a little bit banged up, you're limping or something like that, you're bleeding from somewhere, and you're walking down this country road, you don't know how long it's going to be before you reach civilization and someone that can help you. And now this random car pulls up beside you. Are you just going to go and just jump in the car? Probably not. And this is the state, almost like a little scared animal or something like that. This is the state that people are in when they're vulnerable, when they're at a wall, they have an obstacle in their life, they really want to get on this journey and achieve or transform, but they're stuck and they don't know who to trust. And so just understand that that's typically the perspective of someone who's in need of help, who's in some sort of pain. And so why wouldn't somebody buy from you even though they need help? Just like I said, it's that situation on the highway, on that lonely country road, where they're scared, they're vulnerable, and they know they are. So they're probably even more have their defenses up and their guard up even more at this point. And so just understand that any objection that someone has, anything, that any reason that if you feel like that you can help this person and they are at a wall, at an obstacle, and you can get them past that point, and they don't take advantage of that, that really seems mind-boggling and counterintuitive to most people, and it even honestly hurts your feelings when you feel like you can help somebody, but they won't allow you to. They're uncertain. So all the objections, if they feel like they don't trust you, and we can kind of go through some of the common objections that you might hear. Oh, will it cost too much? What does that really mean? It means that, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to receive more value than I need to invest. So, or I'm not sure if you're asking me to pay compares to what I can pay elsewhere. Well, now isn't the right time. Well, what they're saying is, I'm not sure if I should give up something that I already plan to do for what you're proposing that I do. I need to ask my husband or wife. What they're really saying is, I'm not sure if me making this decision is going to look good in the eyes of someone that I care about or I respect. What if it's just like, oh, I just don't know. What they're saying is, hey, look, I've had some negative experiences in the past, and either way, right now, I'm just not sure what my experience is going to be. So again, once you can see that, either which way it goes, any objection that someone has, it boils down to them being uncertain. And so that is just what we need to understand. That uncertainty in the mind of the customer really equals fear. And what fear is, it's really just a natural defense mechanism that we all have. And fear is what prevents us from moving towards some kind of undesirable outcome, some kind of dangerous situation. If we didn't have this defense mechanism, we'll just walk into whatever. And so it's the fear. It's that's what causes the unwillingness to take action. But fear isn't real. What fear honestly is a picture, is an image of the future. So fear is this fabricated image in someone's mind of some kind of future situation. And if the image in their mind doesn't feel comfortable, doesn't put them at ease, it doesn't look good or feel good to them, then they're just simply not going to move towards this undesirable image in their mind. So this is why they say people buy off of emotion, but people don't really buy off of emotion. That's not it. What it is the emotion, their emotional state is created by the image that they have in their minds. And so Tony Robbins says, in order to master your emotions and get into a peak state, you need to master the three forces that control your emotions. And he calls that the emotional triad: your physiology, your language, and your focus, what you actually are seeing, or your vision. Your sales process must do this for the customer. So you have to help them reach their action threshold. And so that's, the action threshold is the point where, where they will actually take action, okay? When their guards are down low enough to where they can take action. So in most cases, the reason why people don't reach their action threshold, the reason why they don't buy is because number one, maybe they don't believe you're the right person. And and when we say the right person, we're talking about, like, they seeing you as an authority, as an expert, someone that they should defer to, because that ultimately is what people need in order to feel comfortable. So I don't mean an authority in terms of, like, hey, I'm wagging my finger at you and you should do what I say, but really an authority in terms of, what, they know what they're talking about, they're knowledgeable, they're trustworthy, and that is what helps somebody seem like an authority. Okay, so what about not believing that you have the right solution? They think that what you're saying isn't maybe it's a good idea, but is it the solution for me? Is it the vehicle that I should get in that's going to take me where I need to go? And so, and there's no question that once someone, clearly understands and they're certain that they think that this is the solution for them, that they'll take action. But if they don't feel like this is the solution, that's something that will obviously prevent them from moving forward. And then lastly, it's they don't have a level of rapport with you. And I don't mean rapport like, hey, I see you play golf and we talk for hours about the Masters, and and get all off topic. When I say rapport, I really mean more of a respect. Like this person they know that they can depend on you to really get what they need. That's how you really develop a rapport. It's more of a respect. And so they want to know that, hey, look, even though you have the right solution and you're an authority and I should listen to you, if something gets in my way, are you going to be there? And so these are the three tens. It's having rapport, having authority, having the solution, the vehicle that they need. And when the person is, like, basically at a level of 10 in all three of these categories, then that is when they really feel confident enough and are certain enough to take action. So if you establish authority, then they will listen to you. And if they listen, then they have an opportunity to see that you have the solution, you have the vehicle that can take them through their journey. And if they believe that you will support them and remove the obstacles that arise, now they are in a position to buy. Their action threshold has an opportunity to become greater than their pain tolerance. And let me just explain what these are really quickly. Pain tolerance is basically anything that will cause your ideal prospect to not buy out of fear and remain in pain. So, for example, let's say that I have some sort of condition, maybe some sort of achy joint, right? My knee aches and I'm in some kind of pain. And I really should go get it checked out and see what a physician has to say about it, but I can't stand visits to the doctor's office. And so, even though I should go, even though I'm the ideal prospect for this orthopedic physician to look at me, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to tolerate this pain. I'm going to remain in pain because I don't like the idea of going to the doctor's office. So, there you can see that I'm tolerant to the pain. And some people have low tolerance, and some people's tolerance is low. That's what it's supposed to say. So some people have a low tolerance and some people have a high tolerance. And so if you look at what I'm saying to myself in that situation, I have a negative perception of going to the doctor. And so that negative perception is so big that, now that my pain tolerance is very high. Same thing for limiting beliefs. Maybe I'm like, you know what, I've never had, I don't feel like the doctor has the right solution anyway. You know what, if in order for me to feel better, I'm going to have to go through some kind of rehab, and I just don't know if I'm strong enough for that. So if it's not the perception, it's people's own belief systems that cause them to not take action, to have this negative image in their mind and remain in pain. So they have a high pain tolerance. Whereas somebody else might not have negative perception and and they don't have limiting beliefs, and as soon as they feel a little bit of pain, they're ready to take care of it. They have a low pain tolerance. Now, action threshold is the level of certainty that is required for somebody to take action. So this is where they need to be before they can take action. And so we try to we want our so some people will have a low threshold action threshold. Some people will have a high action threshold. In other words, some people, it won't take a lot for them to go ahead and move and take action if it makes sense to them. They don't have the negative beliefs or what have you. If they see the benefits, they have a sense of urgency. They'll take action. Whereas other people, it takes a little bit, for them for everything to line up for them to take action. And so, what I kind of the way one way you can look at action threshold is it's the benefits and the urgency. So if somebody sees the benefits to something, they're at a place where now they've reached their action threshold. Or let's say that regardless of whether or not they feel like there's a lot of benefits, they really need to move and make something happen. They need to take care of it, or they're willing to. They have a sense of urgency, so they now can reach their action threshold faster. And so your action threshold is reached when the customer's benefits and sense of urgency outweigh their negative perception and their limiting beliefs. And so what we're saying is that if if they have a high pain tolerance, when they envision life in the future, it's negative. It's a painful picture. Like I know my knee will feel better, but that image of me going to the doctor, that's what I'm seeing, and that's my negative future pace. That's what I see in the future. That's going to cause me not to take action. Vice versa, let's say I don't have this thing about doctors, and I know if I go in, he's going to look at my knee, and my knee's going to feel better, and I see myself back out there being active and playing sports or playing with my children or something like that, and that's a positive future pace. Now I'm in a place where I can take action. So it's the positive future pace that creates the right conditions to tip the scales in your favor, to make the benefits and the urgency outweigh the negative perceptions and limiting beliefs. And that's where I say people enter the avatar state. Now, the avatar was this little cartoon that I used to love, but the point of it was, this person here is the avatar, and at his most powerful state, he had absolute command of all the elements of the earth. And so basically what I'm saying here is this is how you want your customer to feel when they purchase and take action. They need to be what you're saying and what you're offering to them needs to be done in a way where it's empowering, and they see themselves busting off into the future and achieving or transforming, and they feel so confident, and that image and picture they have in their mind is so powerful that they feel it, and they feel powerful enough, they're empowered to take action. They're in the avatar state. And it's also like kind of my little double entendre, because when we talk about your prospect, they call them customer avatars. And so so that's one of the things that we're going to do is develop your customer avatar, and we want to get your customer avatar to the avatar state so they're empowered to take action and buy. So that is what we are designing our sales and marketing processes to do. And so if we look at this graphic here, it really has all the elements, kind of the little pieces of the puzzle that we're going to use to paint that picture in your avatar's mind. So, through some of the basic content that you're going to make, they're going to understand what that bold promise is. What is that one thing that you're going to be able to do for them that's going to help them get to that through their journey to achieve or transform? And we're going to give them that hook, and some of your content is going to command their attention and paint you as that authority, and qualify you as that person, and help you build that rapport and set that future pace in their mind. So that's what you see in the intro though. So some of the things that we do are going to accomplish those things. And then we're going to talk about some of these things, and you'll see exactly where these pieces fit as we move forward. But what are, let's say, three secrets, three things that are related to this one thing that I'm going to help you really do and overcome? What are some things that you don't know that I can inform you? Or what are some things that you believe right now that maybe aren't so true, but I'm going to help you gain the right perspective? That's how we're going to break their limiting belief patterns and build some really positive affirmative belief patterns about not only you and what you offer, but also themselves. And then you see on the bottom where it says stack. That's where we're going to take all of the elements of your offer. So in other words, if you act now, if this is a pain or a problem for you, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you this, and I'm going to give you this. And all you've got to do is pay this and you get everything. So those are the individual elements of your offer. So this is what's happening. This is how we're taking that whole kind of psychology that we just talked about, and now we're starting to package it into a message and to an offer. And that's where we kind of really get into the marketing and the advertising. So when we last met our hero, they were at this wall, okay? And so, before we move forward, let's really, kind of recap what is it that the hero is looking for. And so we all have really four primary motivations in our life. And, in terms of being the hero of our own story, the hero wants to make an impact. That's very important to people. A lot of people, their big thing is making an impact in the world, or making an impact on someone else, or being an impactful person. The second thing that generally that the hero wants to do is they want to achieve some version of paradise. I just want to get my business somewhere where I can literally go to this paradise island, lay back and sip pina coladas on the beach. And pina colada is really how it's pronounced. I live in Puerto Rico, so please forgive my pronouncement of pina. I don't say pina colada anymore. It's right, it's pina colada. But so anyway, I digress. The point is, people are looking to achieve some version of paradise in their life. That is that positive future pace that they're out there looking for. The hero wants to connect with other people, having a connection, having a sense that, hey, I helped so and so do this, and I'm the connector, and I helped to make all these things happen, and I'm the glue. That's something the hero wants to do. And lastly, the hero wants to make a mark and do something significant, build a legacy, something people remember, they can see and take notice of. And so whether it's one of those things or a combination of all four, that's what the hero wants to do. They want to make an impact, they want to achieve paradise, connect with others, or make a mark. But along the way, remember, they're at this obstacle, and and kind of move forward a little bit, you can see there's going to be a plan, but they're going to run into some conflict along the way. And so what the hero is going to need is, number one, they're going to need something that they don't have. Like, Batman is in trouble and he needs his super X-ray vision thingy, and Robin gets it to him just in time, and he's able to defeat the Joker, right? The Batman needed something in order to be the hero. Maybe the hero needs to achieve mastery of something. Think about the Karate Kid. Daniel-san was in trouble. He was getting beat up, and he was ultimately he was gonna at the end of the movie he became the hero by winning the karate tournament. But he had to achieve mastery before he could become the hero. Or maybe the hero needs to be liberated from something. Maybe the hero is trapped. And like Batman again, Batman got tied up by the Joker, but oh no, Robin came just in time to untie Batman, and Batman was able to win and be the hero. You're that Robin, right? You liberated them from that situation so they could move forward and achieve or transform. And then finally, maybe they need to be taken care of after a struggle. the hero has just went through the toughest battle. Remember, think of well, I hate to use Old Yeller because Old Yeller got shot at the end, but basically, or any other situation where the hero had gone through this big fight, this big conflict, this big battle, and they're wounded and broken, and in order now to maybe rebuild their strength and win the last battle, they need to be taken care of after the struggle. So that is where we're meeting our hero. Remember, the hero is looking to have an impact, achieve paradise, connect with others, or make a mark. That's what they're looking for. That's what their desires are. But along the way, they're gonna need something. They're gonna need to master something. They need to be free of something, or they need to be taken care of. And that's where you come in. Now, to really illustrate this, and put this into a story, I was helping my 11-year-old son understand, all of this and make his offer for what he was doing. And sometimes, I always say, like, you don't understand something unless you can explain it to a 5-year-old. Because if you can really make it simple and help them see it and understand it for themselves, you really have command over the topic. So my son is 11, but nonetheless, he's young, and this is kind of how I helped him to understand this concept and apply it to his little business. And so basically, you start off with the backstory. That's everybody's situation. And so for our story right now, and before I start the story, also it also helps to think of your solution, your offer as a vehicle. That's just a really good, visual to help to make the story make sense. So now, my son is 11 years old, okay? And let's assume that he's making some kind of product, some kind of service. He's offering something to other children that are his age, okay? So that's kind of the backstory. Here are, remember the movie Home Alone, okay? And Macaulay Culkin was at home alone, and that's kind of the setting of the movie. So let's imagine that there's some 10, 11, 12, 13-year old, and they're home alone and they're bored, right? So that's where my son is meeting them with this imaginary product, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to know how to never be bored again?" Okay? And so that's what's going to get the interest to of this other 11-year-old, 12-year-old boy who's somewhere home alone, and he's like, "Wow, I'm bored right now and I can never be bored again." Okay, that sounds like a journey that I want to go on. Okay? And now they're at this wall. Okay, so, and let's say that and I also, in my son's offer, he was like, how to never be bored again, and 3 ways to, or sorry, here's how you can go on an adventure and be back before your parents ever notice that you were gone. So now our avatar, our ideal prospect, this other 11, 12-year old boy is at home, and he sees this advertisement that's telling him that he can never be bored again, and how he can go on this adventure and come back before his parents ever know he's gone. Okay, so that is the journey that he's ready to go on, because his achievement is to, in his transformation, is to never be bored. And his achievement, maybe he wants to be cool and impress his friends and have this really cool story to tell. So he's striking out on this journey to get to this really cool, fun adventure. Okay, and well, now he's at a wall, right? And he's like, okay, but you just told me how I can, like, escape and be back before my parents ever notice, but I don't know where I would go, and I don't know what I would do, right? And so now my son offers them this course that's going to show them how to plan the ultimate adventure and how to create the ultimate adventure. So at first we got them interested in having an adventure because we told them it's possible to take off and be back before your parents ever notice, right? And so now you want to go do that, but you run into this wall and you're like, well, I don't really know exactly what I should go do. And so now we deliver the solution. We deliver this new opportunity to have this really great experience because we tell you exactly where you should go, exactly what you need to do, exactly what to take with you, and how you're going to have this adventure. So you're like, oh, that's awesome. I have my way to go, right? But then you're like, I have one problem. I have my way to go. I have my way to get there. I know this awesome, journey that I want to go on, but I don't have a vehicle. So now my son offers the vehicle, right? So now they have the vehicle, they have the car, they have their way to get there. But there's just one problem. Okay, now they're at the point of conflict, okay? And and so conflicts come in one of two ways. You either have this internal conflict or this external conflict. So, what do you think is the internal conflict of our avatar? Well, think about it. They're 11 or 12 years old, and we just offered them a vehicle, an actual car that they can take on this journey to have an adventure and be back before the parents ever notice. And well, the only problem is that they don't know how to drive the car. Okay, so uh, you know sometimes the solutions create more problems. So you know how people who are looking for money and they feel like money is their problem. I don't have enough money. If I had enough money, I'd be able to do this. If I had enough money, I'd be able to do that. If I had enough money, things would be different. But then they get money, and then they find out there's a whole new set of things and issues that they have to deal with now that they have money. So that was kind of the point of more money, more problems. But the point is, our solutions actually create new problems for our customers. And so we want, if we understand that, we can take that into account and build an offer that really meets their needs. So let's go back and kind of trace our steps to where we are. So they saw this ad that said, "Hey, you can. Here's how to never be bored again, and here's how you can have this perfect adventure and take off and be back before your parents ever leave home. And I'm going to show you just how to do it." Okay, so now they take that and they're like, "Man, I want to go on this adventure. That's so cool, but I don't have a way to go. I'm at a wall." And now we offer them an actual car. Like, now you have a way to go on this adventure. But remember, they're only 11 or 12 years old. So I asked my son, I was like, and so what's the problem? He was like, "Well, they can't drive." I'm like, "You're right." So, and I asked him, I said, "Well, what would help them out if they wanted to go on this adventure and they had a car and it was the only way that they could go on this adventure was with this car that you gave them. Like, what could you do for them to help them out?" "Well, I could give them an instruction manual." I was like, "Yes." So, or maybe the vehicle comes with a driver, right? So now not only did we give them the vehicle, not only did we present them with this new opportunity, but we also are starting to help them through their conflict. Their first, thing was internal, like, "Okay, I have the way to get there. I have the vehicle, but can I do it?" And that's a natural thing that people are going to go through. Let's say we're talking about weight loss. Like, okay, I know Jenny Craig is the vehicle, right? I know that this is the way that's going to help me transform my body. But I just don't know if I can do the exercise. That's a lot of work. I don't know if I'm going to feel like going to the gym, all these different things. And so those are internal conflicts. In our example, the 11, 12-year-old boy was like, "Well, I don't know how to drive a car. I don't know if I'm able to do that." And so we took care of that by providing them with the driver. And now I told my son, I said, "Okay, well, before we got to the driver, we were with the instruction manual. That helps our example. So we're going to give them an instruction manual." So I told my son, I said, "Okay, now you've given them the vehicle and you've given them the manual to learn how to drive it." I said, "But now you've got this 11, 12, or 13-year-old boy who's driving a car." I said, "What do you think is going to happen next?" And he said, "Well, they're going to get pulled over." And I said, "You're absolutely right." So Think about it. We've given them the vehicle, and now they know how to get on their journey. We told them that we'll give them the manual. So now they're confident that they can go on the journey. But now they've started on the journey and some other outside thing gets in their way and causes them to stop. And so if it's not an internal conflict, it's an external conflict that could possibly get in the way of the achievement or the transformation. So when we are thinking about what do we offer people so they will buy from us, it's it's giving them things that are going to give them that vehicle for change, but also understanding the conflicts that they're going to run into along the way and giving them something that's going to compensate for that. So now that your hero has the complete offer, you've given them the new opportunity, you've helped them through their conflicts. Now they're at that point of achievement or transformation. And so what my son's solution was okay, well maybe we can offer them a disguise. So now they've got their vehicle, they can go on this adventure, and they received the instruction manual so they know how to drive, and my son gave them this disguise kit that now they can be don't have to worry about being pulled over and they can make it to their destination. Now, what about bonus offers? What else can we add to that? Well, you've got an 11-year-old boy who has this new cool way to go on this adventure. He knows how to drive and he has these disguises. Well, what else does he need? He needs friends. He needs company. He wants friends to go on the journey with them. So maybe as a bonus pack, as an upsell. So here's your disguise kit, but for only $29 more, you can have 4 more disguises. So not only you go on the adventure, but you get to take 4 friends on the adventure with you, and you get to have the time of your life. Now that is an irresistible offer. That is an offer that someone can't refuse. And that's definitely a message that someone would pay attention to. So again, when we look at our skeleton for our message and our offer, and when I say message, I don't mean just like one article or video or something. I mean really the foundation of our content. When we look at our message and our offer, now you see where you can put these pieces into this skeleton. So when we talk about this one thing, in our example, the one thing was having this vehicle to take an adventure, and then our 11 or 12-year-old avatar had some limiting beliefs. He felt like he couldn't drive the car. He felt like he would get pulled over. And so then we offer them the information, like let's say like we were like, the average 13-year-old learns how to drive in only 2 hours. And here's why. And most of the time, and here's how you can, you think you might get pulled over if you drive a car, but here's ways that you can avoid ever being detected. So my point is in your messaging, you're building in these things that are really speaking to people and helping them really reset and recalibrate themselves and understand how you can help them with your offer. And so now that you understand how we're creating your offer, you can look at, this is another kind of way to look at how you're creating your offers and everything. So if we use our example again, we reached out to the child that was at home with some sort of advertisement. Maybe they were on Facebook, maybe they were watching TV. So we caught their attention and we said, hey, do you never want to be bored again? I'm going to show you 3 ways to have a fun adventure and be home before your parents ever notice. So that was the lead magnet. That was got them interested into the whole product itself, right? And then we offer this tripwire. Here's how to plan the perfect adventure so you and your friends can have the most fun ever. I'm going to show you 10 adventures that you and your friends need to do before you're 15 years old, and I'm going to show you exactly how you can make it happen. So maybe that was something that they bought for $9, right? And now they were like, "Oh, this is so awesome! I know just what to do. I know, how to have fun before I'm 15 years old. This is so cool. It only cost me $9." And then we have the core product. Remember, we offered them the actual vehicle that they were going to use to get to their destination. So that's the core product. And then, and that also included their instruction manual because we had to address their internal belief system. It also included the disguise kit because we had to also account for the external factors that could prevent them from reaching their destination. And then we offered them the disguises for four more of their friends to maximize our profit. That's the profit maximizer. So now you can see not only are we shaping our message, but we're structuring our offer and we're structuring our sales process. And so this is really how the art of it, where you're working from the psychology of the customer and we're getting it down to what our offer and our sales process actually looks like. So that really is the art of this whole thing. And so again, when you look at the bottom line, you can start to see how we're stacking our offers and what's being included in our offer. So let's say on the square with the one line that says, "Hey, we're going to give you the actual car so you can go on your adventure." And the person's like, "Yay!" But then the person's like, "Oh crap, but I can't drive." And then we're like, "But I'm going to give you the car and the instruction manual." And the person's like, "Yay, this is so cool. Now I can go on the adventure again." But then they're like, "Oh crap, but if I drive the car, I'm going to get pulled over." But then you're like, and now we're in the middle, the box with the three lines, and you're like, "But I'm going to give you the car, and I'm going to give you the instruction manual, and I'm going to give you the disguises." And you're like, "Yay, that's so cool. Now I get to go on the adventure." And then you're like, "Wait, but I'm not finished. I'm also going to give you the disguise kit for four friends." So you're going to get the car, you're going to get the instruction manual, you're going to get your disguise kit, and you're going to get disguises for four of your friends. And then all it costs is $99. So if all this does is take you on the most fun trip ever, then and all of this whole trip, these trips are worth $1,000, but I'm only charging you $99 today. You should take action. That is how it all comes together. That is the art. So again, we're going to look at this one more time. You can see how all the products are structured together. I'm going to give you this lead magnet. I'm going to get you interested and really talk about this pain. I know you're bored, but I don't want you to be bored. Let me show you how to not be bored. And then that's the lead magnet. And then you've got your tripwire, your core product, and your profit maximizer. So if we take this process and flip it on its side, this is what it looks like. So at the top where you see Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube, that's all, and actually it says choose a traffic source. That's where you see traffic. And then we're going to offer them the lead magnet. That's right here in the middle. And your tripwire product, that's what happens in the middle. So that your lead magnet that gets them interested in your low level offer, and then your core product and your profit maximizer, that's what happens on the back end. Okay, so if we take that and flip it on its side, now we can see how someone goes from coming in, the traffic, people coming in, to how they move through this process and ultimately buy your products. So now that you have your message and you have your offer, now you're ready to advertise. You're ready to call attention to your message. You're ready to call attention to what you have to offer. But what you need to know now is exactly who that person is and where they are. And so when we talked about the avatar before, we really haven't gotten specific yet, because it's really at this point, before it was all about understanding what somebody is going through. We might not have talked about their exact details or demographics and everything just yet, but we really talked about what's happening in their life, what journey they're on, what they're going through, what they're having problems with, what's getting in their way, and how you can help alleviate that whole issue. And so now that we know we have that process, now we can start to figure out exactly who those people are and where they are. And I don't just mean like they're on Facebook. A good way to look at it, one of the things that I do is we offer advertisements through digital billboards. And so these are like, basically we have business owners plug something into their TV monitors, and that run connects them to our ad network, and it runs the advertisements on their TV monitors. And so the way that I really kind of describe how you approach, where you're putting your message and how you're doing all of this is, imagine that you have like an actual TV screen, and you're going to put your ad on this TV screen, and you need to put this TV screen in front of your customer. Where are they going to be where they're going to be watching this TV? Like, do they go to the gym? So I know that if I have my message on a TV that's in a gym, they're going to see it because my person goes to the gym. Or maybe, the lady that I talk to, she really, invests in her appearance. So I know I can find my lady at the beauty salon. Or I know that, the guy that I'm going after, he's a golfer. Like, and if I put this at a golf course, he'll see it. So, so when we start to figure out exactly, who this person is, we start to figure out some details of their life that we can use to figure out how we can actually put our message in front of their face. Because now, once we have our message and our offer, it's all about how people see us, making an impression on them. And it's not just about making a good impression, it's also about how many impressions you're making. Like so I have like the best thing ever, right? The golden egg. I've got the best thing since sliced bread, but only one person knows about it, right? Maybe I have like the most beautiful voice ever for singing, but only my family's ever heard me sing. Like, can I be a rich and famous singer if I've only sang for the 5 people that are in my family that live with me? Of course not. So, so if we, I guess to use that example, if we look at your message and your offer as this beautiful song that is going to sing to your customer avatar, the question is, how many people have heard your song? How many people are looking or seeing or what you have to offer? How many impressions are you making on your audience? So now we're starting to get, bleeding into the science of it all. So now that we have your offer and your message, now we need a source. So we need somewhere. That's kind of like where we're going to put this TV screen. How are we going to get in front of their face and get their attention? That's our source. Okay. Then we need to have some way to reach out to them. And I don't care if it's video, Facebook, Instagram, flyers, you're out there dancing on the street corner, it doesn't matter, some kind of way to reach out to people. But then you also need a way for people to respond and for you to capture their information when they do respond. Okay, so that's a very important step. And then we also need our process to convert them into customers and optimize their value over time. So whatever we do, this is the 4 elements of making yourself a system that's going to have you profit. And so if we look at this process in a different way, basically people are going to meet us at some point. So either they're hot and they know us, they know who we are, they've done business with us before, or they're cold. They don't know who we are at all, okay? And then we're going to bridge them over. We're going to, communicate with them in some kind of way, pique their interest. We want to figure out who are the people who really want what we have. And so that is what you see in terms of qualifying subscribers. Like, who's going to give me their information to know more about what I have to talk about. And then we want to know who is going to buy. So when we talked about that tripwire product, that low-level offer, this is a really kind of an icebreaker into our world, right? Because once they break that ice, they make that first purchase, now we can optimize their value. We can say, hey, who needs more from us? Whether you need more from me right now or whether you go up this ladder with me over time, this is the basically the life that the life cycle that a customer is going to have with you. Okay, so as we are moving people through this process, you see the same thing here. What are the elements? What are the styles or pieces of content or things that we can do that work along each phase of the process? And so this is just a really good graphic here to help you see what kinds of things belong at each step. So we're going to be putting the appropriate pieces with the appropriate message at the appropriate place. And so when some people will talk about a sales funnel. And so just another way to look at this, people are at the top. Maybe they have seen a blog post, or they read something or read a press release, or maybe they're responding to an ad. And then now they're going to enter the funnel, and you can see again, some different types of content. Again, a little closer look at the top of the funnel. So this is where people are really encountering you for the first time or hearing your message for the first time. And now again, here are some different types, the same thing, but more a close-up on what types of content start to work as people move through this relationship with you. So maybe at first it was a free white paper or a guide like we had in our example, or a free training video, or some checklist to help you out. And then now I know you're interested, and I say, hey, look, why don't you come on a webinar and learn some more information? Or why don't you read this case study and see how we help someone that was in a similar situation like you? And then finally, to get them to the bottom of the funnel, to get them to take action, hey, let me just give you a free trial so you can experience it for yourself. Or let me give you a demonstration, or let me give you an assessment or a consultation. So again, now these are the elements that are going to go in these 4 phases. So we have our source. How are we reaching out to somebody on Facebook? Are they seeing an ad? Is it a video? Or am I, giving you are you looking at a billboard or a TV? What is the source where we're using to reach our people? Is it a park where there's a large gathering today? That could be a source. And then your outreach. So let's say the park had a lot of people there, and you can go and reach out with flyers. Or let's say Facebook is the source, and you're going to reach out with an advertisement or a post or a video. And then you have some kind of mechanism for people to respond. So click here, learn more, give me your email address, and now I've captured your information. And now I can go through the process of converting you into a customer or client, and then optimizing your value. So when you put this together, this whole thing now, this is how you profit, okay? So we are building a system that is taking into account the psychology of our customer, the journey that our customer is going on, and we've created an offer for different phases of that journey to get them from point A to point B. And then we also have the messages that are communicating to them about our offer. So you see people are coming in through the left, they're either hot, warm, or cold. They're getting this initial message from us. Then they're responding, and we're capturing their information. We are offering some value up front. They make a small purchase. And now on the back end, we are selling them our really core products and services, and we're much more profitable at this point. And we'll talk about why in the part about our video about the science of all of this. And then finally, we want to automate this process. So when you look at this all together, this is like your little engine. So same deal, you've got your traffic coming in from the left, and then on the top line, this is where people are looking at your web pages, and they're getting your content, and they're getting the different content along the way. So you can see how it's like broken up into video 1 and video 2 and video 3. So this is where you're building your authority. This is where you're building that rapport. This is where you're helping them understand that you have the solution or the vehicle for them. But we also capture their information. So that's where you see that arrow down to automatic responder. So now whether it's Facebook Messenger or email campaigns, when we capture their information, now we can start to communicate with them on a consistent basis. And then lastly, the bottom line is where your CRM is, and that's where we get to manage our relationship the whole time. So this is how we take your whole process now, make you a profitable process, but then automate the whole process. So for some businesses, before you get before you get to all the advertising and the media and things of that nature, maybe creating that process is the first step. Making sure that you have an automated process, you have a mechanism for people to respond, making sure you can capture their information, making sure you have a CRM so you can manage this cycle, because you don't want to just keep paying for people to come in. If you've made contact with people and you've talked to them, you want to be able to follow up and continue and build that relationship. So that, definitely comes first. Creating your offer, automating your system. Now we can really begin to advertise. So again, when you build that automated system, once people come into your world, now you see those arrows on the bottom. We can communicate back and forth, and we can drive this process of sales. Okay, so that is it for the art of the cash flow business blueprint. That's the art of customer acquisitions, and that is the art of doubling your revenue and profitability of your business. Because when you can get customers on a consistent basis, that is how you have a foundation in a sustainable business. So I'm going to do the science part of this in the second video. So look for the science of this here in part 2, and I'll see you there in the second half.